helping Zan out on how to like have your dad as a coach?
Not yet. Not until he experiences it firsthand. You know, it's his knee injury, he hasn't been on the court, so he hasn't been able to experience that rip that you get. So once he gets that, if he really needs some help, then I'll stick with him and let him know how it is. But I kind of want him to get that first one on his own.
He's got to learn by experience, right?
You guys kind of have a different bond, though, maybe, than the rest of the guys, because you've probably known him for longer than anybody.
No, definitely. He's like my little brother, so it's kind of nice to have around. I didn't know what he was going to end up doing basketball-wise, but, I mean, it's nice that he came here. I'm happy for him. He worked hard to get here. It's something that's important, and you can't take that away from him, just like people are always trying to take that away from me, that I don't work hard. You can't take it away from him either, because I've seen it firsthand.
What did you think about the entire Bahamas experience, just your overall impression of what it did for you guys?
No, it was very important for us. It gave us a lot of experience, especially those 10 practice days that we had. A lot of the media was able to come in here one of the days throughout that. So they were able to see kind of what we were working on, what we were doing, and being able to get that, it kind of put us ahead of a lot. And then going over there playing against those teams was a lot more physical than anyone would have expected, really. But that was very important for us to see, and then also grown men playing against us. So that's also something that's important for us. NCAA, you're not going to see a lot of guys that physical. It's something that you need. You're going to play teams like West Virginia or whatever that are very physical, get up in you. But that was a different type of physical that you're not going to see every day or play against every day. So I think it was good for us, especially when we go up against teams that want to play physical. It'll kind of give us a one-up on them when we need to go against them.
What do you guys think about that season opener against Duke? Have you guys do you talk about that?
No, we haven't talked about it. To us, it's just another game on the schedule, so that's a good way to look at it. We're preparing for that game just how we do with any other game, and it's something that we think about just going into his first game, that we want to get the jitters out. Obviously we want to play well. If we don't, we don't. If we do, we do. It's something that we'll only be able to tell once the ball's thrown up and we get in there.
Now that might be the attitude inside, but when it's Kentucky Duke, that's not it's not just another game outside.
I mean, for us it is. I would say for more of the fans, it's not. Obviously, it's more than a game, just because of all the stuff in the past. But I wasn't a Kentucky fan when that was going on or whatever. I wasn't even born yet.
I was going to say, you weren't alive, were you?
No,
But you watch SportsCenter. I mean, you see R.J. Barrett, you see Zion Williamson and what they did in Canada, right?
I mean, yeah, you see it, but it is what it is. You saw what we did to the other teams, the Mega B-Max or San Lorenzo. So you could say it for both ways. We're just happy to be able to go out there and play another top 5 team that's impressive that we're going to get to test ourselves against.
How have you seen your dad change? I don't know, I can remember you being in the locker room in 2012, sitting over there with Kyle Wiltshire, From that point, how have you seen your dad change to where he is right now?
From last year he was a lot more animated than he would have liked to be, but I feel like this year he knows he can relax a little bit. He sees how good of a team we can be, but he's gonna step on the gas until he feels like he needs not to. But I think he understands that he'll be able to let off the gas once it gets to a certain point, just because he wants this to be a player-led team. I think that's what he wants, and then once we're to that point, it'll let him relax a little bit, and I think that'll be good for him.
How much do you look up to him? I would imagine, look, as many coaches have been around here, he seems to be like one of the few that doesn't have I don't know if you'd call it a crutch or a downside. There's not something that people attack other than maybe his ego, but beyond that. But how much do you look up to him that way? I'm talking about the servant leadership stuff and the way he pushes and the players first. He doesn't care that it might piss off fans or something. It's players first and all those different things that seem to be, the right way to approach things.
Yeah, no, I definitely look up to him a lot, and he's instilled a lot of those things in me, especially teaching me from when I was young that there are right and wrong ways to do things, and the way that he does things are really ultimately the right thing, because he wants, especially a lot of these kids, to succeed, and he knows that basketball is their way out, especially when you get a kid that comes from a family that's less fortunate or single parent household, they need this to be their way out to kind of set that family and just kind of take the stress away from them. And he knows that, especially with his mom and dad, where he came from. He had to work where he got. I mean, you've heard his story probably 100 times, you know, but the way he's done it, you know, now he wants to do it for everyone else.
Would you want to follow in those coaching footsteps?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
Does he try to discourage you? Because I've talked to a lot of coaches who have sons in the business, and they were like, I really want him to have a real life.
Nah, he doesn't discourage me. You know, he tells me, you know, do what you want to do. You know, I'll be here for you. I want to play first for a little bit, wherever it is, and then after that's over, I'll want to coach. But he said, you know, he would help me with it. You know, kind of teach me the ropes of it, which is good. And then naturally, I have a lot of that from him, just being around it, which is also another good thing.
Now, I understand you're focused on basketball now, but would you feel like some pressure on your shoulders to be a Calipari on the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, it is what it is, but I mean, it's the same thing with coming here. You know, it's pressure that I already knew. I mean, it's been pressure since I was in high school, so it's nothing that's new. You know, it is what it is.
So your long-term goals, that's what you want to do, is play basketball beyond here as long as you can and then get into coaching?
Yeah.
How does this help?
I mean, going against professionals every day, so, I mean, future professionals, but, you know, a lot of these guys, they're going to make it to the NBA, and going against them every day in practice, it really helps develop your game a lot when you either realize it or when you don't.